integration between Salesforce and BoogieBoard is bidirectional. Looking at my Camping World account here in Salesforce, BoogieBoard is pushing the account owner as well as some information about the territory and the territory team. This account has $0 in ARR and it is not an active customer. When I look at my account list in BoogieBoard and I look at the Camping World account record, I can see all this same information because BoogieBoard is ingesting this data on a nightly basis. Caitlin Clark is the account owner, the ARR is 0, and it is not active. If I go and simulate a change by just changing this ARR to $20,000, we closed a deal, and changing the active status to yes, I can then bring that information back into BoogieBoard. I could wait for the nightly sync, or I could go and refresh the data in on a manual cadence by just clicking this button. And it's going to bring all of my account data in from Salesforce, any custom object that I have hooked up, and it's going to reload my information in BoogieBoard. There's some configuration options that you can set up for your sync. You can get pretty granular with it and look at Salesforce's native territory objects, as well as a few other options. I get a notification that my sync is complete, and I can look through the data sync history to see what was pulled and when. I could view all of the logs of information and again check things more granularly. When I go into BoogieBoard and I look at the Camping World record and I refresh my screen, I'm going to see that ARR value jump and the active status change to yes to mark what we had represented in Salesforce. There you go, 20K ARR, and active status is yes. So you can manually refresh the data into BoogieBoard, and more likely once you're set up with us, you're going to be bringing that in on a usual, regular, scheduled cadence. Now to show the push back to Salesforce, I'm going to simulate Caitlin Clark leaving the business and us replacing her with someone else. I go into my role assignments and I'm going to see Caitlin Clark is assigned to this territory here. There's also a business development rep and some inherited roles on that territory. Caitlin is out and we're going to replace her with the sales manager for now, Jason Day. We could also set up things like temporary coverage or distribute the accounts out or dissolve the territory. Right now, we're just going to have the manager cover. So Jason Day is now holding that territory, which means that in BoogieBoard, if I were to go back to the Camping World account, right here, I would see that Jason Day is now assigned to that territory, but that Caitlin Clark is still the account owner as things exist in Salesforce today. When I want to actually commit this change into Salesforce, I go back to my data source and I get ready to push into Salesforce. I could do this as a trial to see what would change. I can make sure that I'm synced up and reconciled with the way Salesforce is today. And again, get a little bit fancier, which we'll cover in other videos. But once I'm ready for that, I simply push into Salesforce and it's going to start a job pushing all of the changes that I have in BoogieBoard for the nodes that I'm committing. So right now I'm pushing the whole model, but I could do it at the territory level. I could do it at the segment level, and this is going to push directly into Salesforce. While it's doing that, I'll show that it could do it on an account team basis. It could be using a specific fallback owner. If there's a territory that's empty, you can figure out how you want to chunk it out, and you can set this up in an automated fashion. You can push account owner, you can push our territory information, and of course, right to Salesforce's native territory object. Once we're complete, I can come back to Salesforce, and if I refresh my screen, I'll see that Caitlin Clark is no longer the account owner here. It is in fact Jason Day. Jason Day has replaced her on the actual territories that are coming in from BoogieBoard. Rip Hamilton has remained as the BDR, and all of my other inherited roles remain in place. My ARR and my active updates are also still there. The goal here is just to show how the information can flow in from Salesforce into BoogieBoard and then back into Salesforce in a bidirectional way.